Okay, Sally Steele here with Vegas Rocks TV, and there are not too many legends that are the most legendary like this man here, Tommy James of the Tommy James and Shondells. Thank you for talking with us today.
Well, my pleasure. Thank you. It's nice to see you.
Now, a lot of people don't know you as just Tommy James, but they would know your songs. I mean, everybody's done your songs. Was there Joan Jett, Billy Idol, everybody?
Well, you know, we've been very lucky. We've had over 300 cover versions of our songs done by artists as diverse as Prince and Dolly Parton. You know, I mean, both Prince and Dolly Parton did Crimson and Clover, and both did it incredibly in their own style. And I always love listening to another artist do our music and interpreting, you know, our music, and it just makes me feel good. I'm very honored and flattered that so many people have done our music.
Was there any versions that you didn't quite like?
Well, no, actually, because, well, there's some where the singer was just kind of flat and stuff like. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I just like.
No, I really, I just kind of give every artist their space. And I'm just happy they're doing the song. I think one of my favorite versions, for example, of Mony Mony, as many times as that song has been redone, I really liked. There was a group called Tight Fit from England that did it in the 70s. I thought was really great. That's my
Billy Idol.
Well, yeah, he did a great version. We probably would have done it like that if we had done it 20 years later. You know, he kept the hard edges on it, and so did Joan Jett with Crimson and Clover. You know, she really.
Yeah, you guys were on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame together.
Yes, we did a show together. It was great.
That was good.
Joan and I and Miley Cyrus and Dave Grohl did Crimson and Clover together, and it was so nice. 4 generations of rock and rollers, and I was very, very honored that night. That was really great.
I'm happy when anybody acknowledges you. I mean, you were there from the very beginning. I mean, from what age did you start writing and performing?
Well, Sissy, let me tell you.
I actually started my first band when I was 12. And then I graduated from high school in '65. And I had my band the entire time, from the time I was 12 till I was 18. And we changed our name to the Shondells. And
what is a Shondell?
The truth, I found out later it's an airplane maneuver, but who knew? It's spelled Chandells, and it's a.
Well, who came up with the name?
Well, it's a French. Well, I did in study hall, but I had no idea that there was an actual something called a Shondell. I had no idea. Just sounded musical to me, and
Sounds sexy.
I like the way it rolled off my tongue, and Shondells, and I could say it, and it had a softness and a musical quality. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that after I graduated from high school, I took my band on the road, and we did clubs in the Midwest, and all of a sudden, in early '66, I'm playing this dumpy little bar in Janesville, Wisconsin, and right in the middle of our 2 weeks, the guy gets shut down by the government for not paying his taxes. So we get sent home, and we're just feeling like dogs, feeling like real losers. And I get home, but that's how the good Lord works, because as soon as I got home, I got the call that changed my life. A distributor in Pittsburgh tracked me down and called me at home. If I hadn't have been home at that exact moment, we wouldn't be talking here today. And told me that Hanky Panky, this crazy record that I recorded 2 years earlier, was sitting at #1, but only in the city of Pittsburgh. They had a little underground record deal back there, and they bootlegged 80,000 of them and sold them in 10 days, and we were #1. And
Wow.
that began my career. Is that crazy?
Were you wanting to do a career in music? Was that always what you wanted to do?
Always, yeah. I didn't know how to do anything else. It's not like I had brain surgery to fall back on or anything. It was either music or nothing at all. And so they asked me to come to Pittsburgh, which I did. I couldn't put the original group back together. So I went to Pittsburgh and found a group to be the Shondells, the new Shondells, And we went to New York a week later and sold the master to Roulette Records. And, of course, that's a whole other story. But Roulette Records took Hanky Panky to #1 all over the world. And that began my career. And we ended up doing 110 million records at Roulette. So it was a blessing and a curse, I guess.
Do you have anything that you would have done different?
Oh, probably a lot of things, but in the scheme of things, I think you just have to, as I say, trust the good Lord that you're doing the right thing. Because if I hadn't have done this at that time, I wouldn't have done that at that time, and who knows if the career could have ended, at any given moment. And
Are you surprised that it's lasted this long?
yes, oh yeah, who ever thought in 1966 that we would still be doing this in 2019? That just blows my mind, actually.
Such a nice guy. I never got to talk to you. I can't believe you. It's just, you're a doll. What do you want people to remember most about your legacy?
My legacy? Oh, God.
About you personally.
Well, I just think that just the fun around the music. And I mean, to me, it's just about mixing it up with people and having fun with the music, and I want the people to remember that above all else.
If you could go back and do anything different, and I know that you were asked to go to Woodstock.
Yes, indeed. Well, Woodstock, one of the promoters, Artie Kornfeld, was a friend of mine, and came up to Roulette, and I was in Hawaii at the time in 1969, and he went up to my secretary and said, listen, would Tom come up and play a pig farm in upstate New York? And she calls me in Hawaii and says, listen, Artie was up and wants to know if you play a pig farm in upstate New York. I said, what? She says, yeah, it's good. They say it's going to be a big gig. And I said, well, I'll tell you, if we're not there, start without us, okay? And I hung up the phone, and we knew by Friday when they closed down the freeway that we had messed up pretty bad. But I probably
Could have taken a helicopter.
Well, we could have, but I probably have gotten more mileage out of the story of not going than if we actually had gone, so.
Now, I have to ask you this. You may not want to answer this. There were, in the 60s and in Woodstock, everybody was doing drugs and LSD, and a lot of the writers got influenced by substance use. Really? Yeah. Would you be one of those that were influenced by that with your writing?
Well, I don't know if I was influenced by it, but I definitely was one of the 60s kids. Of course, we were influenced by it. How could we not be? Yeah, I'm amazed, really, that we were as successful as we were with all the chemicals that were floating around. I really am, and I thank the good Lord every day that we don't do that anymore.
Dragging a line.
Dragging the line, that's a fact.
I was reading on the internet something that because of the drug use, you were pronounced dead.
Well, I fainted on stage in Alabama in 1969. It's a true story. And one of the reporters around said, God, he looks dead, when I was unconscious. And so suddenly that got reported. And got reported all over the country that I had died. And I disappointed everybody by showing up again. So I went back to Roulette, and Morris Levy, the head of the record company, said, what the hell are you doing? That was, that was quite a day. By the way, we're working on a movie right now.
Really?
Me, the Mob, and the Music, our book that we released several years ago, is going to be a motion picture. And
It's exciting. Are you in it?
Well, I'm much too old to be Tommy James, but I'll probably have a cameo. I think what I'd like to do is play a corpse. The lines are easy. You don't have to worry about missing your mark, and and you get paid. So I mean, it's a pretty good gig. No, I don't. I'm maybe a bartender or something.
Is that going to be in the theaters, Netflix?
It is indeed, and it's being produced by Barbara DeFina, who produced Goodfellas and Casino and The Color of Money and Hugo a couple of years ago with Martin Scorsese, and we're just so honored that she's doing it. And
Did the mob finance your career early, or?
well, the reason why that's almost a yes is that when we got to Roulette, we signed with Roulette Records, and unbeknownst to us, Roulette was a front business for the Genovese crime family in New York. Of course, we didn't know that, and they were a functioning label as well, you know, and a pretty good one. And I mean, we had a lot of hits with Roulette, so I can't say that they influenced the career, but we had to, you know, the whole point of the book is that we had to, you know, shut our eyes to a lot of things that were going on up there. And not a whole lot of people knew that. So while we're moaning and hanky-panky, and there's this very sinister and dark story going on behind us that we couldn't talk about. We couldn't say a word about.
It's all going to be in the movie.
That's right, it is.
I can't wait to see it.
Thank you very much. And we have a new album coming out next month.
Original material by you?
Original material. We did a couple of covers, and we did a remake of Dragon a Line that really is I want everybody to listen to that. We have a new single out called So Beautiful, and it's just making it onto the charts now, and I can't believe we're doing this 53 years later. But you know,
Do you have a favorite song that you wrote a little bit?
Of mine?
Yeah.
I guess I'd have to say Crystal Blue Persuasion.
That's great. Well, I appreciate your time so much and meeting you after all these years. And also, I just want to say, he's got a plug, XM Radio.
Oh, yes.
I see a sign back
Thank you over there. Yes, well, I have a show on Sirius XM Radio now every Sunday from 5 to 8. It's called Getting Together. And we're playing. They let me play the music I want to play, and we've just celebrated a 1-year anniversary of being on the air for a year, and so if anybody'd like to tune in and see us, it's every Sunday from 5 to 8.
That's great.
Listen to us. I guess nobody's going to see us on the radio. I got
I'll
a face
tune.
for radio, don't I?
Is there anything else you would like your fans to know about you that they might not know?
Well, I don't think so. I think you've pretty much covered it all. Thanks for letting me get all the plugs in.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're very interested in your career, and
Well, come to the
keep
website
rocking.
if you want to see
Okay.
where we're performing and what's going on. Just come to our website. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
I will follow you, Tommy James.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, the legendary Tommy James and Tommy James and Shondells. We will be watching you everywhere. The movies, the radio, everything.
You can't get rid of me. I'm like a bad foot fungus.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear.